The purpose of dropping nuclear bombs on Russia or the Russians dropping nuclear bombs on the United States is not to wipe out the, part of it's to wipe out the retaliation, the retaliatory capacity, but you're not aiming at their industrial complex or the major military targets, you're aiming at the civilian population. The civilians have now become the major targets.
Considering the likely nature of the next World War, should not the facts about it be reported now? There won't be much chance to debate the rights and wrongs afterwards, and honesty now may help to prevent it. The Vietnam War, which I reported, was often regarded by the American military as a war between cowboys and Indians. It was rampant technology against the peasant people, cluster bombs and chemical bombs against an enemy in rubber tire sandals, and innocent civilians known as gooks or dinks, or by the military term of collateral damage. In most of the news agency offices in Saigon were pictures that were never published or never sent. Pictures of atrocities, the real face of that war, of any war. Protecting your compassion, the most precious thing next to your life, became more and more difficult the longer you stayed, the longer you contrived to remain aloof from the suffering and the criminal stupidity of it all. There is a myth that the media lost the war, but was the war ever winnable? And regardless of the relentless media coverage, why did it take American public opinion 10 years to tire of the war? In 1967, a Newsweek survey found that television actually encouraged people to back up our boys and support the war. 5 years later, during some of the heaviest bombing in history, another survey showed that people had developed a tolerance to all those little pictures of horror and fireworks from far-off Asia. Had they simply merged with the fireworks of Kojak and with the soap operas and the soap commercials? But just as the media did not lose the war, neither, of course, was the war maintained simply by the coverage on television. What was often missing was an attempt to explain the truth, past and present, of what those pictures really meant. An historical perspective was needed, any perspective, other than merely the news of the day. And when the truth finally came out, it was too late. Millions had died, yet again. Millions were maimed and dislocated. A beautiful land ravaged. And the punishment of Vietnam continues. On June the 21st,